Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, Prof, let's look at your brother in quotes, Nana Addo.
Oh, okay.
Hey. He reigned for 8 years. There are those who call him arrogant because at a point in time he told chiefs to stand. People didn't like that. Others also called him a dictator, as once they did with Nkrumah. And others also called him a statesman. Do you think he ruled with iron fists, or he governed or managed the country, or he lorded over the country, or he truly ruled as a true statesman?
I'm always concerned about results. Asking chiefs to stand up, those kinds of things, I don't pay attention to those things. In the end, he destroyed the economy of this country with 8 years. That's all I have to say about it.
He destroyed?
Yes.
The economy of this country?
The economy was completely destroyed. This country had never defaulted on its debts until that government came into power. So, you have to use measurable benchmarks to determine success or failure. For example, Kwame Nkrumah we were talking about before. He was overthrown in February 1966. Ghana has now been to IMF maybe almost 20 times. When is the first time we went to IMF? May 1966. Before then, we had never been.
Okay.
So you can tell immediately that after the coup, our economy started going in the wrong direction. And it has been in the wrong direction ever since.
With the wrong driver.
Yes. And so when we look at Akufo-Addo's tenure, the economy is what people live on. People have to eat, they have to work, they have to produce. It's all about the economy. So if you come and you borrow excessively to the point that we cannot pay our debts, our obligations, our international obligations, for the first time in our history, then those are your results.
How will PAG have handled that 8-year period if PAG was in power?
Oh, I mean, clearly, it was a matter of fiscal discipline.
Okay.
There was no fiscal discipline in the government. There was no, there were no proper controls on how money was being spent. It was being spent, we're just borrowing money. We borrowed a lot more money in those 8 years than we've ever done. Show me what has been done with the money.
So PAG would have...
If you borrow money, you have to use it for the purpose for which you have borrowed the money, so that you get results, so that you can also pay the money back.
Where you take it from?
Yeah, it's fiscal discipline. There was no fiscal discipline. And clearly, as we are finding out now, there was a lot of corruption. I think, people were literally just taking the people's money and running with it. And it's not just NPP. NDC has also been guilty of that, for sure. Like the recent case with...
We'll be coming to that.
Bank. Yes.
Yeah.
So what I said at the beginning, that, I really pay little attention to those matters of personality, like
the chiefs
asking chiefs to stand up and stuff. But I think that he failed to understand that traditional rulers existed before the white man came. And after the white man is gone, they are still here. These are the people that have a great influence on mobilizing our population for development, no matter what kind of government you are. So you don't go antagonizing chiefs in a public way. I mean, if you have an issue with chiefs, you sit down with them
and do it in a private way.
You talk with them. Yes.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Let's look at one thing that a lot of people got angry about. That is the banking or the cleanup thing that happened. That thing that happened collapsed Men's Gold, Gold Coast Security, your own brother Indum, and all those. A lot of institutions were affected.
Yes.
How will PAG have handled that situation, the financial cleanup?
Well, I mean, first of all, what happens in the banking sector is very, very important for the economy, because the economy runs on the flow of money, both domestic borrowing and external borrowing. Okay, so you need to have strong institutions. And so if you find that the institutions are weak, usually what has happened in most other countries is that you find a way to recapitalize those institutions, but at the same time bring the discipline that is necessary to make the recapitalization worthwhile. Okay. But of course, there might be institutions that are so poorly run that they may not be resuscitatable. Yeah. Yes. So that is also possible.
Okay.
But I think also one of the areas where the government paid little attention to was that these banks also employed a lot of people. So by shutting them down, people also lost their jobs and their livelihoods with no options. So it had both financial and social implications. So it's really a matter of really looking at how one would recapitalize those institutions in the best interest of the country. That's really all it was. Yes, and also leaving, I don't know why both parties were able to leave these banks to deteriorate.
And that is the point.
This is why I tell you the two of them, to us in PAG, there's no difference between them.
Too long.
Yes, because
someone goes to a bank just to get 200 Ghana cedis, and the person was beaten because the bank didn't have that.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
I think one of those microfinance institutions that led to this.
The banks, that's one problem. But then there are also people who are regulating these banks. The regulators. Where are they? Why haven't we called them? Because if you are a refereeing a match, the end result depends on how you refereed the match. So where were our regulatory institutions? They are also being led by human beings who have a job to do. So you shut down the banks, but like I said before, responsibility. We have a problem with responsibility. There are some people who are responsible for the failure of the banks. Not just the owners of the banks, but the regulatory environment, the part that the government has in. We failed.
And that led to this whole calamity.
Yes.
Let's look at the National Cathedral. Right now, NDC is back. They're saying other things about it. What would PAG have done with the National Cathedral if you had a chance?
There would never be a National Cathedral anyway, to start with. I think that is that is a folly. Have you noticed that when you are traveling around Ghana now, the biggest edifices that you see are what? Churches. We are lost. We are lost. The biggest edifices are not educational institutions, they are not factories, but they are churches. So why then does the government engage in perpetuating that direction that we're going in, which is not productive?
We need more factories.
After all, what I will say is that Ghana is a secular republic.
Yeah.
It's a secular republic. So the government has no business in infrastructure for worship. That's a private matter. Yes. It should never have happened. And now that it's happened, I believe that we have to cut our losses and move on. When you think about the properties that were destroyed to clear the space, it was very irresponsible. Extremely irresponsible. And it also shows an attitude of not respecting property of state, the things that we own when people come into power. These are national assets. They are not for people to destroy and throw away because they have a plan or that they had a dream and they talked with God. There's medicine for that.
One with Professor Ulzen. It's always interesting to speak to him. Very soon we'll be ending proceedings. The double track system, you are an academia and probably you share knowledge on that area, the double track system that came with the Educhum and Co. Introduced. What would you say about that? How would PAG have handled that situation at the time?
Wrote an article about it a long time ago.
Okay.
Okay. With the free SHS. The idea itself is laudable.
Okay.
But also free education has existed in Ghana for decades. I'm a beneficiary of free education in Ghana. My generation, we all went to university, government paid, and even in secondary school, almost everybody who could not afford it had a Cocoa Marketing Board scholarship. A lot of the cocoa money was used to educate Ghanaian children in secondary schools. It was a common thing during my generation. So if your parents could pay, they paid.
Yeah.
But if your parents could not pay and you qualified, usually the Cocoa Marketing Board paid for you.
Wow.
So free SHS has already been in existence. It's not new. So that is a fallacy in itself. So the next thing is that it was so poorly implemented, leading to this double track thing that you're talking about. It was not necessary. If they had planned properly, it would not have been necessary, because you would have phased it in 1 year at a time, 1 year at a time, 1 year at a time, and the system would have been able to absorb the children in a planned way. So because it was poorly implemented, it destroyed the system that was already in place. And this double track thing led to shorter face-to-face time, so the quality of education is lowered. And then you have young children, teenagers at home long periods of time. I'm sure
your own thing.
Oh, I'm sure if you look at the data for teenage pregnancies during this period, it will tell you a story.
I'm telling you.
It will tell you a story. Yes. So it was again it's just a mark of incompetence. It wasn't done properly. Yes.
Yeah. So if you look at Nana Addo's whole regime, there was nothing good about his administration.
I wouldn't say that there was nothing good about his administration. I have to say that the pandemic occurred during his tenure of office, and I think that he handled the pandemic quite well as a leader. He was able to mobilize Ghanaians, get us to do the right things. That's one area where he seemed to have done well, though there are issues being brought up about how the money was managed.
That is another story for another day.
Yes.
So like I told you, he will say it as it is. It doesn't matter, what the feeling will be. And that is the man, Professor Ulzen. And now let's come to the NDC. Mahama and his administration, they've been in office for let's say 6-7 months, thereabout. PAG, what is your position or assessment of his government so far? Are we on track?
Well, I mean, 6 months is a very short period of time, but I mean, he certainly had taken certain steps to stabilize the currency. Now we'll see if it is sustainable. Only time will tell. The measures that have been taken to stabilize the cedi, which is again, the NPP said they were going to arrest the cedi and throw the key away. Yeah. They were not able to do it. So you have to give them credit where credit is due.
Okay.
They've taken certain measures to stabilize the currency. Now the question is whether over time these measures will continue to protect the currency. The other thing they talk about is a 24-hour economy, which I really don't understand it. I don't know what they mean.
$4 billion.
I mean, I'm a doctor. I've always been on 24 hours. So, so I don't know. Some people are already on the 24-hour economy. I mean, many factories already have 3 shifts. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, doctors and nurses were already on 24-hour economy.
Yes.
So I don't know really what it means. But I'll tell you that
maybe the banks and other institutions will work 24 hours.
No. After they announced it, the program, then they said they were going to need $4 billion to kickstart the 24-hour economy. Right? Well, that's what I'm saying. So now the question is, where
do you get the money from?
And also, if you knew that this is what you were going to do, all the time that you were in the wilderness, maybe you would have been making moves to structure the financing for this. But then you come and then you say, oh, now we need this. So again, to me,
we are still going back to the NPP, NDC,
just
games and chess with us.
Promising
propaganda
that we're going to do something, when you've had adequate time to really plan and do it, and you don't do it, but you come and then announce it now. So, but you know, anything that is good for Ghana, good for everybody in Ghana, I support without political color.
Okay.
So, if they are really going to, I'll tell you something though. I'll tell you a few things. PAG came out well ahead of the elections with a reduction in size of government. We came out with a very strong anti-Galamsey position. We said actually we would ban Galamsey if we had any opportunity to do it for a while. And we would start organizing the miners in cooperatives, which now today NDC is talking about. So if you go back and look at our documents, you'll see that these people are skimming off the top of the things that we say we're going to do.
So that tells you what PAG would have brought on board if they had participated and then won.
Yes.
I see. Now let's come to the special prosecutor, Jabe.
Okay.
People are saying that he's acting as if he's the king of an Arabian state. I mean, the way he issued red alert on Kenofurata, arrest of Adumotre, this person, that person, and people seem to have a different opinion.
Well, for me, with legal matters, what really matters is
the results.
Yes, and also if the person is acting within the law. Those are my biggest concerns. So, again, I think Ghanaians are too quick to be concerned about how something is done rather than what is being done. What is being done is really the issue. How he dresses, how he talks, it don't mean anything to me.
That is not important.
But he has a job to do, and if he's doing the job correctly, he's not abusing the civil rights of any citizens in the pursuit of his duties, then I don't have a problem with that. So, if he issued a red alert against Kenofurata, was it within the law? If it was within the law, it's within the law. Yes, Kenofurata is just another citizen. To me, I think this is
not above the law.
This is the problem that we tend to have in Ghana. We tend to elevate people to a certain level, and we make them begin to rise to the level where they start abusing the ordinary citizen. Yes.
Let's come to the Chief Justice.
Yes.
I saw you also writing some few things.
Yes, I think PAG, we came up with a statement on it, yes.
What is your problem with the process?
PAG didn't have a problem with the process.
You don't have any problem?
We felt that the process that the president followed was well within the constitution, within the options that he has as the president. I don't...
But in removing her, don't you think that you are setting some kind of precedence that...
No. Look, nobody is infallible. Nobody is infallible. If you start worrying that if somebody has done something wrong, we shouldn't investigate it because of their rank.
Then that's not what people are saying, that you shouldn't investigate. People are saying that, I mean, you have, how do you call it, Addo, who has been pardoned in a way, who has been told that he should pay part of something.
Okay, that's another issue.
People many a time, they try.
Yes, I also wrote a piece about
I know. We will come to it.
But what I'm saying with the
if you have accorded Addo for this kind of thing, why can't we do the same with the...
No. They are two completely different issues.
What really was a crime?
I don't know.
So how then do you say that?
I'm saying I do not know.
Okay.
This is a matter which was supposed to be handled per the constitution in camera. Because of the very concerns about if she is not guilty, you don't want her reputation to be besmirched and she just goes back to her job. She rather was asking for it to be put out of camera. The reason why it is in camera was to protect her integrity. Yes, her integrity
and the institution of
and the office. The office. So that's why I'm saying that I did not see anything wrong with the process as the Constitution prescribes. She is fighting it, and to me, I felt that she was not fighting it on a proper legal basis. She seemed to be fighting it on a more... She was fighting it in the media, rather than... As a Chief Justice, you would think that she would fight it on points of law, and I haven't seen her doing that. That is
your opinion.
Yes. That is my opinion.
I see. One-on-one with Professor Thaddeus Ulzen.
Now, with the Nole prosecutor, I've already said it. If somebody has stolen 6 goats, and by the time, and then you catch them, but they only have 4 goats left, and they return the 4 goats, is that punishment?
No.
There you have it. No.
So this is in reference to Communal Dufour.
That's right. And then also, the 40%, where do you think it went?
Somewhere.
No.
Somebody's pocket. No, it went to his pocket, obviously.
That 40%. It went to his party.
Say that again.
Think.
It went to his party.
The chances that money went to his party are very high.
Really?
Otherwise, why would you even
That
have
is
to?
a strong allegation.
I said the chances.
Okay. Choosing your words carefully.
Yes, the chances are very high.
I like that.
Why would he give that money to the NPP, or would he bring it to PAG?
Or maybe to his private business or something.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is that the party is a likely beneficiary of the money that it was not accounted for.
I don't know if you've paid attention to the appointment of the various ministers that we have. It looks as if this administration seems to have a lot of young folks. What's his PAG's position on that? I think that provided the result matters.
Yes, but I mean,
is there any appointment that was made that probably, in your opinion, or PAG's position, it could have maybe been done better?
A lot of the people, as you say, were very young, and obviously the president knows these people and wants to rely on them for his team.
Yeah.
But in any political organization, you have to bring in young people for it to grow. I mean, so as a matter of legacy and planning, you need young people. I mean, Atta Mills brought in people like Fifi Kwete and Ablakwa, they were young people, yes. So
even the late
yes. So all of these, so that as a principle is not a bad thing, but because even Kwame Nkrumah in those days, Terry Adamafio, those people were younger ministers in his cabinet, yes.
Do you think President Mahama will succeed?
I hope that he succeeds, because if he succeeds for Ghana.
I like that.
Yes.
That's all that I wanted, because someone, Eugene Boachintri of the NPP, said that he wants the president to fail so that his party can come to power.
No.
That's quite unfortunate.
No, I mean, once a party wins an election, it means the people of Ghana have entrusted them with the responsibility of managing our affairs. So we hope that they succeed, because we have given them that job to do for us, not for themselves, but for us. So if they succeed, we succeed.